Yeah, the tree stand. Tried to fall down the hood there. Tried to break, came loose on one side and ooh, swirled around. Went down.
Spun you around.
Made my day.
I bet.
So that's why we got a new hood here.
All right, I get 7 o'clock. We'll go ahead and get the meeting started. The first order of business will be to approve the minutes from October 6th. Has everybody had a chance to go through and read over them? I have a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
I second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Next order of business, the 2026 budget adoption ordinance. The 2025-9, we need to rescind that one. And then pass ordinance 2025-10. Do I have a motion to go ahead and take those steps?
Yeah, I make a motion, we rescind 2025-9 and pass ordinance 2025-10.
Agree. So,
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none.
Can you sign for me? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I have to abstain.
Yes. Please.
Okay, we'll get started with the old business, planning and zoning violation, nuisance ordinance updates. John?
Starting off in order you got here on 29 East Side. I did go by and hand deliver a location improvement permit to that location. Nobody was home. I left it on the door. Within a few days, we had a call from her asking where it could be paid for or done, and told her here at town hall in the days and times. The town hall has not received anything as of that time yet, so still at no resolution there as of yet. No. Board has any other thoughts or want to go further?
Is that as far as just them going ahead and redoing
That was
the permit?
Yeah, to redo their location improvement permit because they haven't completed providing a continuous foundation edge, or I shouldn't, perimeter edging around there. And also they haven't done their driveway, the hard surface driveway, 15 and a 15 feet, I think, from the road edge in that needs to be done.
this has been going on for how long?
They got the original permit in 24, or might have been late 23.
It's over a year then.
Oh yeah, yeah. Have, I don't have nothing of that copy with me or anything like that.
Okay. I mean, next step would be, do we need to have Andrew send a letter to him? Trying to get a timeline, or, I mean, what do we
Well,
need to?
there is a process. I mean, for failure to complete, there's a finding violation in 1213 of the zoning ordinance. I mean, if it doesn't, if it suits the council or whatever you want to do, we can follow through on that, or give a timeline for the finding ordinance to start, or I mean, kind of it.
Both your options, and I can write him a letter, just to say, hey, you didn't complete your work in the time frame given, please get another one, or whatever. Or I believe they're in violation because they had a year to complete the work, they didn't get it done, they didn't seek another one, it's not on us to make sure that they come back and get a second permit. But there's a little gray area there where they did get one originally, maybe they didn't think they knew about a time frame, or so it's a little bit of kind of what you all want to do.
I think send in a letter with a drop dead date. We'll need to have this need to be done by whatever needs to be done so far. And if it can't be adhered, then they need to make direct contact to us. And if that doesn't happen, we'll start levying fine daily, or monthly, whatever we want to do.
You mean work complete, or at least get
At
another,
least
get another
plan,
permit?
yeah. Need to plan or show they've got contractor scheduled to come in to do it, something. It's going long enough.
I believe they off and on have been there, stayed nights and stuff. And they have, in that essence too, then they wouldn't have they have not received from our building inspector occupancy permit either, which they shouldn't stay in there without it, you know. So if you do give them something like that and they give back a time frame, be doing it, that would be helpful. Then we could at least expect that.
Let's see if they're not, we don't have anything.
No,
Do we let Andrew send the letter first, or send the letter along with, this date, we need to have a plan in place, and we need to see something completed pretty soon. The Lord's been, if it's been that long, a year.
I believe it was in 23, truly, the permit was issued. Does that sound right, Ben? Because for it to be over a year, it had been.
Well, that's kind of what I'm talking about.
But I feel like they were out of the permit and
For quite a while, yes. Yeah. Because it's been going back and forth. And we had other folks that we approached about it that were out of theirs. They complied and finished their work and have, and they renewed the permits that weren't needed to. Yeah.
So, are we all in agreement that we need to send them a letter? And then what kind of a timeline do we need to give before we need a, some kind of a plan? How long do we give them for a plan?
Our next meeting. Give them a
So-
month to get a plan to us.
Yeah, we need a plan moving forward, or we have to go to the next steps, which is levying fines.
I mean, that's not actually much, we ask the same for anyone else.
Right.
And that next meeting is December the 1st. Is that gonna give you enough time, Andrew, to get the letter out and?
Yeah. So, plan must be submitted by December 1st.
Yes, acceptable plan.
Yeah.
do we need to have a renewal of the permit?
I just
Yeah,
mentioned that
and a
part.
renewal of permit, 'cause
Is there just one permit that needs to be
Yes.
renewed?
John, was there any other?
The building inspector, I hope you received the copy and an email of his inspection report. If not, I can run an additional copy. If you
Yeah, no, I got mine. I don't
On 29, or not 29, on
market.
Market Street.
need. Lebanese Market, yes. And I can go through it real quick, or how the council want to do it. Read it, or
Yeah, everything looked pretty reasonable
Yeah.
to me. I mean,
Address and-
11 East Market Street. That's last name of Keith Property, Keith.
I've seen they've done some work up there. I don't know how. I mean, will you guys need to go back out there to verify it's done, or how do we go on from there?
Basically, in the looking of it, he told him he needed to provide the protection that was noticed, the front doors and the rear doors not being latched. Actually, he had the doors there; they were just open. He did not do. There was not a good connection done there to keep them closed. The front porch area, he told him that because it basically stepped up as just a skeleton frame, so there's no flooring. He told him he had to get it floored or petition it in some way with protection and signage, and this part he has done as well. And he also mentioned to him, which was truly not part of it, but mentioned to him, as far as it being overgrown with stuff and the debris laying around. And I know they've worked on both of them items. Is it to what we like to see? Probably not, but it has improved. And basically, it would be up to the council if they feel like they need to proceed on something more.
We have boarded up some of the open windows.
Yeah, I don't think there's any open windows on
And
that.
on the lower front.
On the lower, exactly.
Did he act, when you were talking to him, did he act like there was any plan moving forward?
Basically, his comments were that he had kind of burnt out and he stepped back from it and he knew he'd been that way from a bit and he hoped to, get out and then get a restart on it again. The inspector encouraged him to get these things done and do whatever he could because he was drawing attention and that, it could lead into further things. If it wasn't just safety, it could lead into further things if,
So the inspector did actually talk to him.
yes. When we made the approach on the house, we looked around and I asked him if he wanted me to try to reach out to him, and he did, and he was on his way home from work, so we gave about 10 minutes of arrival, and that way we talked. And we did not access the house and go through the house because that wasn't the intent of the property itself. Intent for us being on property was to make sure it was safe, and then he offered that advice as well. In fact, his recommendation was decluttering yard and grounds around the structure, shutting and latching all entry doors, front and rear, putting up a barrier on the front porch to prevent anyone from falling into the foundation porch area. That was his recommendations, because, like he said, he was there for the one pretense of the safety. That's
So maybe is a possibility we give a timeline, and I mean, it doesn't have to be written down, but us if we don't, I don't know, see something else.
if the council has further desire to do something else, according to your ordinances that is there for your use to that would be up to you.
But then it would be, I mean, more so the safety of the structure, not the safety, but then whether the structure is deemed
as an issue in itself. Yes, not as not failure safety, but as an issue in the structure itself. Yes, I mean, that's under that public nuisance ordinance that the town holds.
Yeah, I think with that one, they've been making progress. We'll see what happens. Give it a little time to see what happens. through it. We might try to reach back out to him just to see what his thoughts are on that. I mean, if they think they're gonna continue to remodel, you know what I mean?
Kind of similar to this other deal for if they've got a plan.
Yeah. See what their plans are, or if we need to pursue any more, but I think we'll let that
Right.
ride for right now. Was there any other?
No, all the other ones I think have been handled, on prior meetings. I've had not any other ones up there.
All right. We'll go into the wastewater project.
Okay, Commonwealth has, finalized, all the smoke tests. They're in the process. I don't think they quite finished on the manhole inspections, but on the smoke testing, during that, I don't know the exact number. As I said before, the biggest part of what we found would be cleanouts on structures coming to houses where the tops have been mowed off, knocked off, not properly sealed down, which is allowing water in. Some of them pretty drastically set in the low area. Water during the rain just funnel in there, kind of carry away for them, so they're going to bring that information together and bring it to a report to us yet, which has not been readied yet. Of course, the smoke test is still out there, but also on that, the inspection of manholes still out there. But on the smoke testing, we did find the one area that we kind of knew already from some pop-up manholes down there at the Baptist Church. It'd be Kennedy and Main. That section down there, there is a manhole that has a direct inflow coming in it from one of our drop boxes, a stormwater drop box. When we popped it during the rain back in early October, I think it was water just hammering in there.
Southwest corner. Over here.
Let's see, it would be right there at the intersection of Main and Kennedy, and that would be the north,
Okay.
and that was on the north side of that intersection. The smoke coming out of there, but we knew we had an issue, and we was wanting to see the smoke come out to make sure, kind of see that, that was working what we're hoping for. It was doing, and it did. So that one is, that line, cause about all of our lines were videoed, but that was a section of 6-inch that had no release to it, so they did not video that. And that's the best we can find.
They tried, but there was a turn.
Yeah, that is correct. That's right. Yeah, it was a turn, and I knew that they didn't have a video on it. And whether that's at that turn's issue, or it's something else on up, or if that's part of the issue anyhow. It's a very bad joint or somewhere they're taking in our connection one.
So that's going to take some repair with a backhoe.
Yeah,
Right,
we're gonna have to possibly partially in the street, depending on where it's at, because of the manhole sets close to the outer edge, but still in the street.
Yeah.
And then it goes probably underneath, unfortunately, one of our handicap access ramps to floor down there. And then it proceeds to the north along the right of way along the sidewalk. So we need a state easement there, or state permit. And then not only that one, but during the smoke testing, we found we couldn't get smoke into some area, and we realized then that the section main was standing full is what's happening. And there's a section down there along the highway from near that same area across the road. Don't have the street addresses. Well, it'd be Kim, your old house. Was that like 331 or from about there heading to the south, about 200 foot, that section of the line I think is going to have to be replaced, because we went back and viewed the videos on it, because unfortunately, they done all that video and we had not time ourselves to follow through and watch every one of their videos. That line there,
Heading south towards the creek.
heading towards that creek, that section is in pretty pitiful shape. And oversight, somehow it did not get picked out. It should have been
Where's
Should have been
where's the
replaced.
next manhole going up
It's
the
right
hill?
at the creek. It
Okay.
dead
Oh,
ends
I know
there.
where's that, yeah.
Yes, it dead ends there. But when they videoed it, of course, it wasn't standing full, but they jetted and pulled it out. Well, when we went back and watched the videos, we got to see the black lines. We realized that thing had been standing full when they pulled it out. It wasn't full, of course, but looking at it, like this thing was standing full.
So what size is that?
8 inch. And it has 2 taps on it. So it looks like our best scenario possibly would be to start the manhole, which is called 56 and the other one's 56A, I believe, and have replacement on it. My concern was here we've closed the contract out for Culverstein, so
That's over with.
that's over with. I talked to Drew today. He was out of office and he said he'd get back to me again tomorrow and he looked further, but he said on the state revolving fund loan, he felt like that would apply for what some of the things we're hoping to spend on. And he said, what we have to do though is going to be probably a couple month process because one, we're going to have to develop what we want done, get a quote package together, get 3 quotes at least, advertise them, take the bidder and have them do the work. Plus, all that work, both spots are on state right away. So we have to permits there, which so that'll mean, bringing back on board even Region 15 to do the labor thing because it'll all have to be Bacon. How about Bacon Davis? American Orange still be, if there's any kind of thing like that, it has to be put in. All that'll have to comply with the funds we get from that. So there'll be a kind of a mini process. It's not going to be as much as the other ones, but because of the quotes, we don't think it will be.
But the good news is we might get some help.
We can get some help. That was what my big concern was, whether we could do it. And he felt pretty positive on it. We could. And so them 2 items alone will be pretty costly. So that's where we're at on that section of it. Now, as far as, we've been putting some packages together and we'll let Ben talk some on that because he finalized up on getting together the 3 different quotes on cameras and then some on what we call dishes, the inflow dishes. They drop in top of the manholes. And you hear me talk about we fluff a manhole, just drop it down to help seal it up, keep from taking on the inflow.
Yeah.
But he's got some quotes we'd like to bring to the council to hear and view on and be agreeable with it so we can put that in possibly that process too.
And let's start with the manhole covers. We did get 3 quotes from those. One from Ceiling Systems Incorporated. They're they come in at $50 a unit. We were looking to do about 80 manholes. But we figured out that will take care of almost every one we have in our system. We do have a lot of these in place in section south of town, going out towards the 4-H center. They do have extra options. They're $4 each, which is basically drilling holes, and they do have air relief valve kit. We've never used those on the other ones, the air reliefs on them. We just use the holes drilled inside. We talked about we can spend a few minutes to drill holes pretty quick for $4 a piece.
Yeah.
So I mean that's. And we had another bid from No Flow Inflow, and they were right at $54. So I mean those feel pretty comparable. And they're all similar, made out of high density polyethylene, just black plastic. They'll take a little bit of abuse. They should last several years because we've got some out south end of town. We think they've probably been there since that line was laid.
A few years after it, they've been in there over 10 years.
Probably close to 20.
Well, I don't know how quick we put them in, to be honest with you, because we realized later on that we needed them because of the low area, even though they're a tight manhole, they wasn't gasket.
But they seem like they're
Yeah,
doing their job.
They help tremendously. They have to, because with the little hole he's talking about, that's just to let the lid drain down over a little bit. If you're only putting something like that in it, to just let it drain down. But other than that, it pretty well shuts your water infiltration coming in or inflow.
Third one was a industrial control. They were quite a bit higher on their price. But we were looking to see about getting these through the grant also. For town hall or town board approval, and then submitting them to Drew and Commonwealth and making sure that everything fits in with the funding where we can move on that.
Because that was the same with the cameras, right?
Yeah, because we were gonna have to see if those would be eligible too.
Right. I kind of felt like he acted like they would be.
He felt like it would be, but some of the things he has on
Yeah, it's, he wanted us into the Build American, Buy American
Right.
Act, and I've contacted all three companies. I've heard back from two of them. Neither one of them have any kind of paperwork stating that they are. We feel they're probably going to end up with a waiver just because of the electronic components of them. Probably more than likely made overseas.
Right.
But we'll have to give a Commonwealth and find out what can qualify, how to get a waiver. Talk with these companies, but two of them are actively looking into it. So we do have three bids on those. They're pretty close on pricing. The Polar Water one was the one that we have not heard anything back on. And that one's price is a little lower, but it is a smaller camera reel. It's only a 200 foot, where the other two were 300. Polar does not offer a 300 foot, so 200 is as close as they have. Something comparable. We were looking more into inside vision one. They were a little cheaper than the Hawthorne camera. A few less bells and whistles that we don't think that we
Feel like you need.
And they, about $2,400 cheaper with a very comparable system on battery power and everything. I think the Hawthorne, what set them higher was that they had Wi-Fi capabilities. We don't need Wi-Fi. We're gonna download the video right onto a flash drive. We're not gonna send it to the phone so we can email it to somebody else.
A little flash drive.
Take it in the office and do it in-house there. Those were the three that we were looking at, was inside, off on the bolt. But we would want to present those to Commonwealth to see if we can get approval on that too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good with you guys going ahead and seeing if we can get that ran through the grant on that. I mean, we don't need to take any action right now, but I mean, or I don't think we do.
I don't think so. You can, but if you're saying it's good for us to, then at least then going forward with them, because we'll be steps out from the rest of it anyhow. And I assume it all come together, I mean, as far as if we get to do these repairs, it'll probably all be done under one timing
Right.
and
Okay.
grouping, but
Yeah, I mean, because this is equipment we need, so I mean, it needs, if we're able to get it through this grant, I think it'll help us out tremendously.
Drew did tell me as far as the work to be done on this, they'll have to come back and do some shooting like on the manholes, make sure that there wasn't an issue there. First of all, we can almost determine that ourselves by taking some shots at the existing manhole inlet and outlet to see if it fit or the actual depth is there,
Flow.
Yeah, so we got an angle that we can actually approach and go ahead and relay. If not, there's some variations that possibly can be changed. But he said that, they would have to come in and do some additional legwork as far as that part. But I do believe we're going to have to, for them to develop that part, you can say, here's your elevations. We know where the taps are. We can dig down and spot the tops of the taps because there's only two of them to make sure that complies in the flow line and what to do. The only thing I got to thinking about is this evening was the section we're guessing what can and can't, what's going on under that from the manhole back out. And I know there's some people around that's probably got some smaller push camera setups, what kind of similar to what we want to get. And I don't know whether we can get that through the manhole or whether it'd be worth our advantageous to try that, to send it up. Because we don't know whether we're going to be just working right there, 10 feet, 20, 40. And of course, you do something per foot, figure on going in and relaying. But I don't know how that's going to be.
When you say that the line's full, are homeowners complaining about backups?
Fortunately, that's a single individual that lives in the one. And I think what happens is the solids pretty much break down and flows out some fluids and stuff going on. So it hasn't backed up. Her old house, it's not backed up at that point. At that point, it's still flowing in the first tap. The second tap, that area stands full. And when we viewed the films and looked over, you could tell.
So both manholes are high points and they're flowing down to the lift station?
No, the manhole that's over in front of the 331 is the one that will turn and go across the road. What I'm saying is there is a high point in that line that's causing,
Both sides backed up?
yeah, it's causing an area that, okay, to get
Can't get
across,
up.
it's raised up and
completely full.
then go down. And the one tap's on that side of it.
Yeah.
So that causes that problem, and the rest is coming on this way.
And there's no way to know where the high point is.
Well, you can tell from, the line looks, there's a lot of this. It was one of them that just really should have been.
And how long has
Now,
that been left there?
That was
forever?
original.
Original. So,
71 worked.
so that's settled.
Oh, yeah.
Many
no,
times.
Yeah, no telling.
All right. Is that it with the waste project for now? Wastewater project?
I think so.
All right. Well, we'll go on to the community crossing grant. Was there any?
They have completed and then they submitted. They did break out the other part they done for us here in town, the subparts, and that's been submitted. And
Well, we're waiting on Drew. We got a question for him because we went over, it's on how we submit the paperwork to NDOT
Mm-hmm.
because we had additional work done. So we had to have them break out the invoices for the community crossings part and the additional work part. So I think there was a question there we needed to ask Drew because we went over some. So we have to find out how that needs to be.
okay, yeah, there is on the totalization on the thing, I think was at 100 and maybe 2% or 104%, which you can imagine that being, and I don't know whether that's going to be a thing that we're responsible to pay or whether that's the contractor saying we used a full amount. Yes, it's a little over here, but here's your bill,
Mhm.
and because the bill was for the contracted amount. So I kind of feel like that's it, but we don't know that for sure. I'm not for sure. It's kind of weird thing for me to.
Yeah,
I don't understand that. Generally, if you want $12 worth of gas, you pay $12, even if you only
Yeah.
estimated 10. So, but that's different in this here in some way. So I don't know if we have an outstanding balance to pay for the town, and that's what. You're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
The gas rate utility study.
Just wanted to give you an update that we're still working with Pat on that. He had a few questions. We've been going back and forth. he's had some medical issues that, he was unable to work on it, so we are still working on it, so we'll get back together.
Is there any new business on the utility updates, John, Ben?
Completed the hydrant flushing, back in October. Other than that, I don't think we got any other thing I can think of.
All right, just town website.
Yeah, so I wanted to let you know that we're live on the website now. I think it's in.gov/town of Chrisney. You can just Google that and find us.
Went there the other night.
Oh, you
Yeah,
did? Okay.
That's nice. That's,
Yeah,
really, I'm pretty impressed the way it looked.
yeah,
Fairly easy to use. Of course, I'm not a computer guru, so
yeah,
but I think it's gonna be fine.
yeah. We've been working with Brian Hund, and he's been helping us along the way make some changes. We've still got some things we need to add on their forms and things like that. We're trying to make it easy for everyone to go to the website, find the forms, so just print them and bring them and meet us and bring them in. So anyway, I just want to let you know we finally got that project completed. I think I sent you all a link.
Yeah, you did send a link. And
I noticed there was one thing that says C attached or whatever on some forms for planning and zoning.
they're not there, yeah.
Yeah, they're
That's-
not there, but we'll work on that. We'll make sure that those
So
are.
hopefully in the future, they can all be right there, put on there. And then the updates, like the recent updates, we could post them on that website. I ain't gonna say that could be the end of it for us, but that would at least let, recent things or, any recent ordinances or changes on our zoning or something could be put on there so people could see them, but, we still need to update our, planning and zoning book.
Yeah.
Just like the changes we just had, plus some earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Or last year, I guess.
Okay, Christy Powell.
Yeah.
you all-
I'm Christy Powell. I'm representing Spencer County Economic Development Authority, and we are seeking an appointment for the next SKIDA Board of Directors. Currently, it's the county commissioners. They're serving as the first organizational term to set up the organization, and we are needing appointments for as early as January of 26. And we were hoping that Greg Deller would join our board. Obviously, the appointment is up to you. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Yeah, I've been to,
If I can answer,
Yeah.
I'm happy to answer.
Okay.
yeah, I've been to, I went to one of the meetings for them and, I mean, I'm willing to make an effort. I told them I'm very busy and, but I'll make an effort to get to whatever I can get to meetings.
Make a motion, we go ahead and appoint you for
I'll make a
the
motion.
representative, yeah.
Allow Greg to fill that vacancy.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank
Hearing none opposed, so.
you. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Other business, is there any other business?
Yeah, the dump truck, we wanted to seek the council's approval, get some work done on it. We've had some loading up charge, on it, not running quite right. And Nathan Berg come down, took a look at it. He presented us with a, estimate on repairs on it. 6 injectors that need to be replaced and the labor and parts looking at $4,357.
Yep.
60 cents.
We haven't spent.
We haven't spent much on it, no, and we've had that truck for a bit, yes.
Had done this. I've been here part-time, a fuel tank and 4 tires.
Yeah, fuel tank and tires.
Yeah, I mean, that quote looks, I don't think we'll find anybody else to do the work. You know what I mean? And yeah, with him coming out here and doing that, you know what I mean? He's come out here and takes care of you guys when you need something on it too. So.
Yeah, he's done some work for us on the,
But he did put an alternator
I was gonna say, and that was the other thing, had done alternator.
Do you need approval for them to go ahead and do the work?
Where to put it, pick out.
Do
Oh,
you want
okay.
it, well, I just ran copies off because I didn't, I forwarded stuff along, but I know it was late on getting this one out too, and that's.
Yeah. You think we should just split that between water and sewer for right now, and then we'll go ahead and get a motion to approve Birds to do the work?
Who, okay,
Oh, I said we'll just split it between water and sewer,
The-
and
the
then we'll go
project.
ahead and,
I mean, I just saw it for, I know we use a truck for, whatever. I don't
Yeah.
think it makes any difference which utility it is, it's used.
But that would make it,
Easier on the gas department.
yeah, our gas, we've been having to water.
Wherever we think we need to do it,
Yeah.
I'm fine with.
Okay.
All right. So do I have a motion to go ahead and accept the bid or the estimate from Berg's Truck Shop?
yeah, I'll make a motion. We approve the estimate from Berg's Truck Shop and split the fee between the sewer and the water department.
I'll second.
A motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none?
Sewer and water.
Yeah. Was there another one you had, John?
We had another one,
yeah.
Bill,
Oh, I'm sorry, the generator?
yes, yes,
Okay,
is that the generator?
You're sorry, the generator.
Yes, I've turned that
Yeah,
in.
I got a chance to look
Okay.
at that.
On the generator, and I know Mason responded back, and I thought, well, we'll all get in here with this meeting. The work that's been done on it so far has just been provided up, putting up the electrical plug-ins and panels and so forth, which you got the breakdown there. I don't remember the total on the parts, but the labor's been quite a bit on it. But he spent a lot of time trying to chase down. He's contacted the actual company, trying to get schematics on how to make it run with the components that's there, and he feels like it's he's lacking something there. He's not quite figured it out. I mean, you can see on his point, he's not for sure on whether it's in the
Like the ignition is not engaging.
yeah, but he don't know whether it has to do with the actual board that we had to, that was mounted to the inside originally, whether it has to be mounted and brought and Ben feels like, and so did Michael some, and I'm not down that line of knowing a lot of that stuff on the, as far as the mechanics on the vehicle. Feel like we'd be better to get somebody that has a little more diesel knowledge involved in it. And I know that spoke to Chris of it, and I know they talked about maybe even this Nathan Berg, or if we don't, even I hadn't tried to reach out because I wanted to get the council's direction. Carl Jones was the former tech that would work on it, and he done every part of it, from all through, and that's his normal business. Whether he could give some insight, do some work on it, but either way, we don't feel like we're going to.
Is this the generator on the trailer?
Yes. The generator will run, but he can't get it to run by having all the panels on and stuff. There's something lacking somewhere, because all that had to be taken out of there, put it. Now finding exactly what it is, I'm not for sure.
It's the ignition's not being powered, so he can jump the solenoid and get it to crank, but without the ignition being powered, it's not going to start.
So he needs paid for this work done?
That is the work that's been done. I contacted him back when I got the bill and told him to, hold up. I need to take it to council. It's not going any further. I mean, the parts were even more than I realized it was going to be for what was dealing with.
I think, if you guys are able to get a hold of that guy that used to work on it and see if he's willing to come out or whatever, let's get him on board here.
So this is work that they've already done, Joe?
This is the work that's been done, because we took it back to him before the end of the festival. And he got so far on it, and I think he ran into problems. He couldn't seem to find the trace of the trail from where the power going to and from. Of course, under different programs or modules and things, I don't know. It's out of my league altogether. I'm not even going to pretend to know. I just know that he has not had it functioning completely yet. You know.
Well, I mean, I think you're correct in not doing any further with the gentleman there.
Right.
And try to get someone maybe has a little bit more expertise that's worked.
Yeah, that's dealt with the engine side of it, because I think that's where, and that's what Ben was saying. I think
Especially if you get the
Carl
Carl
Jones,
Jones,
yeah, if he can give us some work on it, I'll talk to him. But I wanted to get the council's approval, and we was going to.
Yeah, just, I mean, whenever, see if you can kind of get a rough estimate together, just so we kind of have an idea of what we're dealing with.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get it back.
And I mean, I understand that, if he needs to charge to come out and look at it, or you know what I mean, but we would like, because I mean, that was, I had no clue how much that was going to cost or anything like that.
Honestly, I expected about half of that with the labor and the materials is what I expected. But so I had no idea, and I don't think he did either. Thinking it was going to be a little more of a put together, and hopefully it's something simple there that's.
and it's not really broke down into parts and labor, but this here's not.
I think he had parts and labors on it. Not unless that's
that might be it. I thought there was another one.
You know what? This one is not. You did get one on an email, because that's what I contacted back, and I said I will need something to give me a breakdown of parts and labor. I apologize. I didn't realize that she still had the old one. It's on your email as well too.
Yeah, I thought I'd seen that on her.
Yeah.
So there is a more of a.
One, it says labor, then the parts and so forth. Because one of the bills, part of the bill I had was do actual some electrical repair on some heaters in or blowers that kept blowing out, and he had to install some new heaters. I know there's one Mason. Let's see if I got a copy here, but I don't think I brought that up because I thought.
There was one that had somewhat breakdown.
I don't remember seeing that.
Well, I apologize. I thought it.
Yeah, I might have just
it's
thought it was
hard to
this
read,
and
but
didn't
it's-
print it again.
Yeah, materials like 326602 and later 2210.
And there's another smaller bill that's part of the electrical.
Yeah, 3 heaters, 25224 and labor 150.
Yeah.
Total 5772.
Yeah, so part of that was actual
Yeah. Okay.
So we agree that to pay the bill then for out of the sewer fund, we have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure that's that's a large amount. I just want to make sure you guys.
Do I have a motion to pay it?
I'll make a motion, we
Okay.
pay the bill up to the point that's been the work performed
Yeah.
on the generator.
yeah, I second.
All right. All in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none. Is there any other business? No. Upcoming events, we've got the fire department, fried chicken dinner coming up November 8th from 5 to 7. Also the Winter Fest December 6th, that'll be at the park.
More information to come on that.
Okay.
And then I noticed today when I saw the Chrisney Community Connection, the chili supper, Chrisney Elementary chili supper is November the 21st from 4 to 7. But we will still have the Winterfest, just not sure on location.
Okay.
It hasn't been confirmed yet.
All right. Next meeting will be December 1st at 7 p.m. Is there any other business that needs to be brought forth? Hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn? A motion, second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Andrew, are you opposed?
I feel like I've always wanted someone
We'll let you oppose it sometime. We might not listen.
No, I mean, I want like Mason to just vote no, so like, he wanted to stay longer. It's when you look at the minutes.
I don't know if
I'm
everybody.
gonna. All right,